Guys, it has been a massive day in Washington, D.C., so I hope you have your nightcap drink ready and you're ready to tussle with some of this news, but it's going to be a good one, guys. Speaker Johnson is out here celebrating some massive wins. Senator Kennedy got heated in a hearing and called a guy a literal whack job, which is hilarious. But most interestingly, former White House doctor just pled the fifth at a congressional hearing about President Biden's health. You heard me right. That is insane. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Also, guys, if you like having conversations like this, if you think they matter, if you think they're entertaining, please consider liking and subscribing because it really does make a huge difference. All right, check this out. So to start off, I did see this from Speaker Mike Johnson. He wrote last week, when House GOP passed the One Big Beautiful Bill, we codified into law 28 executive actions taken by President Trump. More to come. So I did like seeing this simple graphic of pretty much everything. And honestly, the Trump administration started off by saying very early on, promises made, promises kept. And if you ask me, this bill is a proof of that. Whether you like everything in it or not, this bill is proof of some form of delivery. And, I'm not saying that I love everything in it, but I am saying that they are doing exactly what they said they were going to do for the most part. And the Trump administration and the GOP are moving in ways that a lot of people really like. And I think that leadership is always going to be celebrated, especially whenever you look at the current state of the Democratic Party, where there is a lacking in leadership across the board, and they're kind of in this state of paralysis. Yet here with the Trump administration, we are seeing some promises be made. Not everything is being kept. I don't want to be very clear on that, but we are seeing some moves be made in a pretty good direction, if you were to ask me. Meanwhile, John Kennedy absolutely unleashed during a hearing today, calling Richard Painter a whack job, which is just hilarious. And no, this is not an episode of Parks and Rec. What a great TV show. I'm not sure if anyone else watches that, but this is hilarious. It is painfully real, and I loved every second of it. Check this out.
Mr. Painter, do you think Senator Gillibrand is a crook?
No, and I do not think all politicians are crooks.
And why did you call her a crook?
I did not call her a crook. Now, Senator, you need to focus on this bill.
Right,
you're doing this again. You did it the last hearing. You need to read the bill.
Role in stablecoin regulation, $217,000 in crypto donations. You tweeted that.
Yes, I do.
And then you said, the crypto industry is buying Congress and the White House. This won't end well. Why do you think the crypto industry is buying Senator Gillibrand?
I said, look at the campaign contributions from this industry.
You think they bought her?
No, I said, look at the campaign contributions.
You said they bought her. Do you think they bought her?
Senator, you need to focus on this bill instead of trying to distort my Twitter.
Last time, one of my colleagues
were quoting what a Marxist in Chicago said about
it. What evidence do you have
no
that she's a crook?
I said there is massive amount of campaign contributions coming into this Congress from the crypto industry.
Do you want to apologize to Senator Gillibrand?
I do not want you to have to apologize for passing legislation
that destroys
our economy. You are distorting what I said, just like you did in the last hearing. You're wasting everybody's time, Senator.
You're a whack job.
Senator,
you are wasting.
Well, I think we are
next level whack job.
Holy smokes. My goodness, the more that I'm in this space, the more that I sink my teeth into this arena, the more I realized how just normal this is. People really just to go all out. They share how they're very emotionally charged, and it's because they're passionate about this. And honestly, I love seeing this passion. I love seeing people sticking up to their guns on both edges of the extreme, the people who are testifying and the people who are trying to extract some answers here. It's all passion. I remember one time someone said that Washington, D.C. is like Hollywood, but for strange people. And the more that I'm in this space, the more I realize, I don't know if it's about being strange, more than it's about people who are extremely passionate. And sometimes the passion is charged in many different directions, but it is passion. And I do think that is great. But guys, check this out. This is bonkers. Most important story of the day that not enough people are talking about. All right. President Biden's former doctor, Mr. Kevin O'Connor, refused to answer any questions today. Literally pled the fifth for everything. This was about President Biden's mental health. All right. And this guy refused to answer anything. This was ridiculous. I have a minute here. All right. From the story. Check this out.
Dr. O'Connor, before we begin, I would like to go over the ground rules for this deposition. The committee will conduct today's deposition in accordance with the House of Representatives regulations for the use of deposition authority, which were furnished to your counsel. This regulation is incorporated into the rules of the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform at Rule 15, which was also furnished to your counsel. The questioning will proceed in rounds. The majority will ask questions for an hour, and then the minority will have an opportunity to ask questions for an hour if they choose. There will be one staff counsel per side asking the questions during each round. To the extent members have questions for the witness, they will be propounded during their side's respective rounds. Do you understand?
On the advice of counsel, I must respectfully decline to answer based on the physician-patient privilege and reliance on my right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution. I am not a lawyer, and I must follow my lawyer's advice in this matter.
So, gentlemen, we intend to assert both privileges with regard to any questions that would be asked at this deposition. And Dr. O'Connor will not answer any questions.
Can we go off the record for 1 second?
Did you hear that? This was about President Biden's health while he was president, and there wasn't a single answer, which makes me and everyone else ask the $1,000,000 question. If there's nothing to hide, why not just tell the truth? What are we doing here? I saw this from Robbie Starbuck, and he said there was a congressional hearing today about Biden's mental health when he was president. Look at this. Biden's doctor used his Fifth Amendment right to not answer questions to avoid self-incrimination. Why? If a Biden was mentally unfit, then everything done in his name is suddenly invalid. Look at this. This is what Axios is saying. Why it matters. The committee is investigating Biden's decline while in office, and O'Connor had regular access to Biden during his presidency while publicly attesting to his fitness during the re-election campaign. What they're saying, the Republican chairman of the committee, James Comer, said afterward that Dr. O'Connor took the fifth when asked if he was told to lie about President Biden's health and whether he was fit to be president of the United States. This is insane. And again, we talk about this literally all the time. This is such a big deal because if President Biden was not at the capacity that he needed to be at to run and serve this country, then who was in charge? Who was signing those papers? Who was feeding him these lines and telling him to stick to the script verbatim and not just sway back and forth? Who was running this country? Look at this. Nick Sorto said, WTF, Biden's doctor just flat out refused to testify about Biden's cognitive decline in a closed-door congressional hearing. He got up and walked out. House GOP must keep pushing. Checks out one of the top comments here says, Biden was a vegetable. It takes someone with a room temperature IQ to realize that he needs to go to jail for the rest of his life and have his medical license revoked. I'd love to ask you guys what you think about that. Nick Sorto responds saying he either covered up Biden's late stage cancer for over a year, not to mention his cognitive decline, or he's criminally incompetent. Either way, he shouldn't have a medical license. Completely bonkers. And again, this has been a story that I've been following for a really, really long time. I'm really passionate about this because it's not just about the cognitive decline. All right. It's not just about him having cancer right now or having cancer for potentially the last couple of years, as many doctors, even across mainstream media, have talked about. It's about how this shakes up his entire presidency. It's not about the doctor's silence. It just makes you question everything that President Biden did while he was in office. Because if he wasn't fit, what does it say about the decisions he made? What does it say about the proclamations and the orders and the laws that he signed in his name? That's the million-dollar question. That's what matters. And that is what is at stake right now. New York Post, they say Biden's Dr. Kevin O'Connor pleads fifth rather than answer questions about the ex-president's health. And this is both of them at the White House. Look at that. This is huge, and we should not let this die out. We got to keep pressing. We got to keep talking about this. This is a really big deal. But I'd love to know what you guys think about all this. All right. What do you think? Do you think Biden was there? Maybe he was there the entire time. All right. Maybe every decision that he made under his administration, maybe everything that had his signature was something that I can't even say this with a straight face. I just know that's not true. I know that he was someone who was taken advantage of due to his age and his popularity, and given the fact that no one else was able to win the nomination, so he went ahead and he sacrificed some policy in order to get to that house. But that's just my opinion. All right, that is my opinion. And I reserve the right to change my opinion in the future, but that is what I'm feeling today. And the story just rattles me up a bit, all right? Because again, the more things we hear about this, the more it all just makes sense. Make it make sense, people. This is ridiculous. But let me know what you think about all this in the comment section. What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? Call me out, all right? If you don't like this, call me out. Tell me what I'm missing here. Or if you agree, let me know. All right. But let me know what you think about all this in the comment section. And please make sure to like and subscribe. Just make a huge difference. And I'll see you guys next time. From Mike Johnson to Senator Kennedy to Joe Biden and his silenced doctor, apparently. All right. Let me know what you think about all this. I'll see you guys next time. Episode's over already? Jeez, that was fast. Well, they say beautiful things do not last forever, but feel free to watch and listen to another one of these episodes if you're interested in those conversations as well. Also, this next part is huge. Make sure to obliterate that like and subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never skip a beat. I also have a newsletter where we dive into the news, politics, and ideas that shape our future. If you're interested in signing up, I'd really appreciate that. Anyways, that's the end of this episode. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll see you next time.